everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to the 12 Games of Christmas. This is a series that we're doing here on the Dice Tower, where we're talking about different categories of games. We have 10 of these videos up there, and you'll be able to find, hopefully, games that you can buy for somebody else for Christmas this year. We want to quick do a thank you before we get into our stocking stuffing category today. We want to do a thank you to our sponsor, Above Board TV. The Dice Tower is a channel all about board games. Above Board TV is also about board games. They're a YouTube channel about board games, and they're about humor. They just did a video about someone who played Pictionary and got possessed. They've done some really weird stuff too, extreme videos, jumping out of an airplane, playing on a live volcano, playing underwater with sharks. And the video we want to talk about today, they played a game covered in bees. There's actually a link to that video in the description of this, and you'll want to go watch that video and comment on that video, because somebody who does is going to win one of our 11 prizes. We have 10 games that will be sent out to lucky winners, $50 or less from Amazon to your choice of game, shipped to the continental U.S., or one lucky winner is going to win 3 days and 2 nights, all expenses paid trip to LA to record with the Above Board TV team in one of their videos. So hopefully you will win. Check out that link, like I said, below. But now let's talk about stocking stuffers. Now, stocking stuffers we talk about are basically small games. Games that can fit in a stocking. Of course, you might argue, how big is that stocking? Let's pretend it's huge. But these are games that we think are small, interesting games that you can check out and play. And sometimes you might be traveling. Sometimes people don't want a big, giant game in their house. And sometimes a small card game can give you the best bang for your buck. Here are 12 games. Let's get started.
Okay, our next game for our stocking stuffer is the game Expressions. Expressions is a small card game. It kind of gives you a feeling of The Crew because it's a very cooperative game, but it's not like campaign-based. What's really cool about this is you all have your hands of cards, and you're trying to guess the cards in other people's hands. And there are different clues you can have through, of course, the cards you have. The cards have already been played, and if you get it right, it's going to go on one side, and if not, it goes on the other side. You have Harmony and Agony. So Harmony is more the cards you've gotten right, you've correctly guessed. But if you guess incorrectly, those cards can go into Agony along with you adding a card, and you've got to have more, like I said, Harmony than Agony. Now, these cards you can also play from your hand down to show them the numbers that you had, but also give them clues about what is in your hand. But there's a catch. These cards, if you play them as a clue, they will then go into Agony and kind of hurt that balance. It's a great game, really fun. You should try it. Expressions.
Next up in Stocking Stuffers is the game Knarr. Now this is a small little box game, but it's got a lot of good choices in it. In Knarr, you're trying to explore distant lands, but you do have to do that by building up a crew. As you build up a crew, it's going to make all of your previous crew of those colors fire off. So if I have a lot of reds, I play the next red card, I get all those awesome bonuses. But if I want to get victory points, I have to send them on expeditions and adventures, and then I have to get rid of that beautiful stack of so many reds that I created and send them off on their merry way to get points and other bonuses. So I think it's got such good fun decision. It's nice to have that kind of building engine and then let it go and restart over. So if that sounds interesting to you and you like that Viking theme, then Knarr might be a good choice.
Faraway is a strange little card game in which you are going to be drafting cards, playing those cards out in front of you. They give you symbols and special abilities, but the idea is every one of those also scores off of something, but you only can use the symbols to satisfy that thing after you've played that card. So at the end, there's a strange, cool phase in which you flip all the cards face down and then you reveal them backwards, seeing what you now satisfy. Really takes about a round or two to wrap your head around, but it is so neat. It works very well. It has a cool think ahead feel to it, and it's so punchy and fast that the return ratio for the time you commit it feels like a big game. Really love this one. That's Faraway.
Next up, we have Seers Catalog. Seers Catalog belongs to a category of games known as shedding games. These card games are essentially ones where you want to get rid of all the cards in your hand. However, Seers Catalog has a little bit of a twist to it in that you don't want to be the first one to go out with all of your cards. You want to be the second person to do so. This is a game that takes a very common type of an idea. Get rid of all the cards in your hands, and through adding special powers, through adding little twists to the rules, gives you a completely different experience, and all of this in the size of a small pack of cards that you can very easily put inside of a stocking. Check out Seers Catalog.
Perhaps the largest box on the stocking stuffer list, this is Mori from Allplay. This is an Allplay smaller box line, so it'll easily fit in one of these stockings here, but the idea of this is a trick-taking game. You play a card to the center of the table, it's the yellow suit. Everyone else who has a yellow card has to follow that same suit, and then the highest number will win the trick. Now the thing with this game is that there are also some dice that you will acquire over the course of the round that let you kind of break the rules a little bit and play sneaky, clever ways. Also, there are these cards that have X's on them that if you see someone's winning the trick, you can just give them these X's. Having the most is bad. But you want some because having the second most, that's points. So a lot of creative and clever touches with this one that make it stand out in its own genre, but also one that I think a lot of people could enjoy. That's Mori from Allplay.
Okay, the next stocking stuffer is Vegetable Stock. Vegetable Stock is a very simple kind of stock game, economic game. And you've all got vegetables. You're trying to collect different vegetables in a drafting mechanism and that go into your tableau in front of you. And all these vegetables have different prices, like stock prices. And whatever card is left at the end, that vegetable is going to go up in price. But if it goes up too high, it's going to crash. So there's a really cool balance on taking those vegetables, putting them on your side, hoping they don't crash, but also leaving one out there so hopefully that stock will rise. But if it rises too much, it could crash, making all of your eggplants worthless. Eggplants worthless. It's not right. I don't eat eggplant, but carrots. Carrots are valuable. That's vegetable stock.
Next up in stocking stuffers is Rainbow, and this is a super cute looking card game, but also it's an interesting meld between a ladder climbing game and a trick taking game. And the real kicker between it, or for it, is that as you are playing out those cards and winning those tricks, you are actually using those cards as the pot for the next round. So if I play out a lot of really high cards, I play a 4, 5, 6 run, then those 4, 5, 6 run are going to be what's set up for next round so that someone can grab those in the future. So you really want to balance out your timing. I think this is a fun, interesting, quick card game if you like that idea of ladder climbing and trick taking kind of combined together.
Next up in our stocking stuffers is going to be a little deck of cards, and these are going to be the Holiday Hijinks series. These are escape room or kind of puzzle-based deck of cards that you're going to go through that are themed around some holiday. So specifically here, we're going to look at the Kringle Caper, in which somebody has stolen cookies from Mrs. Claus, and you're going through and trying to figure out who. There's going to be puzzles on the cards. As you solve those puzzles, it's going to give you information about other cards, and ultimately, you're just trying to get through this deck, puzzle it all together, solve the crime, and you're going to need to pull a little bit of your Christmas background knowledge. Now, if that's one that doesn't really speak to you, there are a lot of different themes as well. There's some such as Independence Day for the Americans. There is as well as Thanksgiving one. There's Groundhog Day, or there's even new ones they've branched out to now that are more generically themed, such as an underwater adventure one. So escape rooms, if those are your things, something small, compact that the whole family can sit around and do together, check out Kringle Caper, which is Holiday Hijinks.
Up next, we have Rafter 5, a tiny little boxed game from a Japanese publisher called Oink Games, who specialized in making these big game experiences in small boxes. Rafter 5 is what is known as a dexterity game, meaning that you're going to be using your hands to either succeed or fail in this particular game. The idea is that you're going to be placing these little thin cards, or I should say narrow cards, and that are representing wood planks that are on top of the box lid. And so you're going to have all of these little wooden planks that are being held aloft by wooden pieces. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to remove a wooden piece in such a way that a bunch of cards don't spill, and add one and put another piece on top of it. So dexterity, meaning that you have to be careful on which pieces you're picking up. You have to be careful about how you're placing those cards back onto the play area, and be careful not to knock the whole thing down. Although I got to tell you, knocking the whole thing down is its own kind of fun. So there you go, Rafter 5, a really solid dexterity game, and it fits perfectly inside of a stocking.
Reforest is certainly a big game in a small box. In it, you are going to be building a forest, and you'll be doing that by taking new cards, playing cards out in front of you. In order to pay for those, you discard cards from your hand. Bigger trees will be built upon smaller trees or foliage, and that will decay and become the forest floor. That's stored energy you can use as well. You are trying to satisfy various conditions, trying to move up closer to a higher elevation in order to get more sunlight. It has quite a few interesting moving parts, but the gameplay is simple. There's just a lot of concepts that take place in it, and it is gorgeous, interesting, very easy to play, and again, it packs a lot of game into a tiny little size. That is Reforest.
Trio is a card game about memory and planning. In Trio, players use a deck of cards numbered 1 through 12, containing 3 copies of each number. Players are each dealt a hand, which they must put in numeric order, and some cards are placed face down in a grid at the center of the table. Now, on your turn, you can play the highest or lowest card from your hand, the highest or lowest card from another player's hand, or flip any of the cards from the middle grid. Great, that's well done. Now, you do it again, but you try to get the same number. If you don't, your turn is over and the play moves to the next player. However, if you manage to get a trio of a number, you keep them. Get 3 sets in this way, or get a set of 3 sevens, and like 3 French hens, you win.
Our last game for today is Coyote. Now, Coyote, this small little card game here, this is actually a reprint of a game that's been out for almost 20 years now in various forms. So this new form works really well. In Coyote, everybody has a single card. And here's the deal. Everyone else can see your card except you. So your card is facing everybody else. There's also a face-down card in the middle. And what you're trying to do is you're looking at everyone's cards and trying to gauge what the total amount is. And then you're just bidding it up. I'll say, I think the total amount is 4. The next person says 6. The next person says 8. Finally, somebody says, there's no way it's that high. And we all reveal our numbers, including the one in the middle, and we see what the total is. Of course, some of the cards are -5, -10. One card cancels the highest card out there. So you're never quite sure about that amount, and you don't know what yours are, but you are trying to read the other people as they do their bids because they can see your cards. And you have ways to even peek at that card in the middle. It's silly, it's fast, it's fun. There's some really laugh out loud moments when all the cards revealed and you go, oh, I didn't know I had the 20. No wonder people were bidding high. But a little card game, Coyote, I think this is one of the best implementations of this game that's come out, and an easy one to fit in a stocking. Well, there you go, folks. That's 12 games that you can get for stocking stuffers to stick in other people's stockings or even your own and go, how did this get there? What a great game. We tried to pick games that are available online. We looked at different online stores. We looked at the publishers' websites, pre-orders. So hopefully they are in print at any given time, but don't delay. Christmas is around the corner. We do these videos a little early so you have a jump on that Christmas shopping season. So thanks to Above Board TV for sponsoring this video. Don't forget the contest we mentioned at the beginning. And go out and check out these games. There are 9 more other of these videos. We can talk about kids games, strategy games, family games, and solo games, and more. Anyway, thanks for watching 12 Games at Christmas on the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vassell. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Bassett.